Hey Limit Breakers, how's it going? Hope you're all having an awesome day. Just jumping on, talk about mental toughness and those challenging days. Weekends, we tend to wind down. It's nice to rest up and just to get ourselves back into gear. But how do you handle those days where you just don't feel like getting up? Especially when it's more cold in the morning, and sometimes you just don't feel like it, right? You just don't feel like getting up, getting things done. And I had the exact same things this morning. Didn't want to get up. Hey, Kat, great to see you. I know, right? The countdown is phenomenal. I love the countdown. This new countdown. Because I keep going live so often, I needed something that just felt like me and my own. And so I had to get something done. I know this is one of those perfectionist things to get things in together. It makes no difference whatsoever, but I like it. And it gives my videos a bit more oomph, a bit more different. Hey, Chris, great to see you. And so, yeah, those tough days, right? And I watched a video. Someone was talking about those tough days where you just don't feel like doing anything. You feel lethargic. You feel like you got overwhelmed, brain fog, all of the stuff to give you the reasons not to show up, not to be on. Similar to now, like jumping on a Facebook Live or a video live to show up for your clients. Sometimes we just don't feel like it, and we don't want to do it. Sometimes we're like, oh, we've got so much going on. We just don't want to do much. I don't want to get on. So how do you handle those tough days? And I mentioned earlier today in one of my posts, in my quotes, there's always tough days but you have tougher days that you've had previously. So if we was to go back and just reflect on all the tough days we've had previously in our journey, right? If we wanted to write a Hollywood movie out of our life, we can. Everyone's got a documentary, everyone's got a life story they can tell. But if you went through all the tough times that you've endured, all the challenging times you've had, all of the times you was experiencing pain and suffering and trauma and whatnot, anything that just caused you pain and discomfort, right? And then you go through all that, go through a little meditation if you want to go through all that pain, or a little exercise, I'd call it, just to reflect back on all of the challenging times you've had, but also all the times you've overcame them and you came out the other side. How much better was you because you endured that pain, you endured that journey, you climbed over that obstacle, you broke through that wall, you climbed over it, you smashed it, you climbed up better on the other side. And once you put yourself in that position and you put yourself back in your feeling, how great did it feel? How great did it feel when you came through the other side and you won and you overcame it and you feel much better overcoming it than you did previously? That's a great exercise to do, especially when you just wake up and you just have that little, I don't feel like it today issue, right? Just sit there, even 5 minutes, not even that, a couple of minutes just to get yourself back into gear and be like, well, I've had tougher days. Today's not that tough. I got this. You got this. And that's the feeling that we always put ourselves into, right? If you want to climb over the top, that mental fatigue, and when you don't want to show up, that's definitely a quick exercise to do. And it's one of the easiest to do as well. It's very simple. You don't have to dive deep. You don't anything like that. It's just quick. What are the most toughest days I've had previously? And if I was to wind back some of my experiences, tough ones would be bungee jumping, or preparing to bungee jump off the highest or tallest building in the world, which is Macau Tower. That felt tough. Like, for one, I had the feeling of enjoyment and excitement, but also I had the fear that maybe I won't make it. A rope just can snap at the moment. I don't know. But that was a mental challenge, right? Overcoming fear. What other ones? In Singapore, during UPW, in Singapore, it's about 40 degrees, 50 degrees. But also, we was lighting the fire walk for Tony Robbins. So we was in like 100 degrees heat easily, with the heat from the sun, the surrounding, the humidity, the flames, the fire. And so I had experienced tougher days for sure. Like, we was on fatigue mode. I think it was burning out. We were dehydrating. We had to keep making sure we were hydrated, right? Throughout. Like, we were just drinking bottles and bottles of water because we were just sweating so much, especially setting up those fire. So that definitely had the mental block, mental toughness, mental, physical and mental challenges that I've had more experience tougher, right? That's how you build up the endurance, you build up the adversity, you build up resilience to develop yourself further. And that's why and you learn this from other people who go, when you work out, do it first thing in the morning, because that's the toughest, that's the most challenging, and that's the most unwanted activity you want to do first thing in the morning, right? And that's why I've always enjoyed the morning workouts when I do have those, because those are ones that suck. It sucks the most. It burns. It's sweaty. It's not good looking. It's challenging. It pushes you. And once you go out of the way, anything else that comes through your day is like, meh, I got this. Much easier. It's not that hard. And so that's a refocus. That's another way of refocusing. And I think a lot of people I speak to anyway prefer working out the first thing they get up, because that's the first thing that sucks. The first thing that just, right? Even if you go for a run or if you go for a walk, something that's uncomfortable, just give your body a quick shock and be like, get out of the way, and then you got the rest of the day to prepare yourselves with. A walk probably is not that challenging, but if you're walking in the cold, maybe that is. I don't know. Getting up early for me is already a challenge, so that's a big one for me. But look at the toughest days you had, and whatever goes on throughout your day, just remember, you've had tougher days. You've gone through more challenging times. This challenge isn't going to hit you as hard as it did previously. And if it does, just remember, you've experienced much tougher challenges, and you can just keep going, right? You've came through the other side. You've done it time and time again. Just keep going, and you got this. Reach out for help. Get a support structure. And get a support structure. Set yourself up a support structure. I keep talking about this throughout this last few weeks, or this last week anyway, especially. Support structure is definitely one. If you don't have one, find someone to help you be accountable, someone that's able to pull you up, someone that's able to inspire you every day. But most importantly is that you inspire yourself first, so that you're more able to influence yourself. Therefore, you'll be able to make more impact within yourself. Therefore, you can do it to everyone else, right? inspire, influence, impact. It's the three things that I always talk about. It's the three things I live by, and it's the three things I help my clients with all the time. Those three things are crucial for anything, especially showing up on digital, showing up online, showing up in life, in person, in your relationships, as a parent, as a leader, as an individual, as a colleague, as a peer group, as an owner, whatever it is, you've got to do it yourself first. If you can't do it to yourself first, how would you be able to do it for someone else? Look after yourself first and take care of yourself first, and always make sure you're the number one priority. If you don't look after yourself first, you won't be able to look after other people. And I always believed, if I don't look after myself 100% and take care of myself first, how would I be able to give 100% to my clients and with my family, my friends, with my partner, potential clients, anyone else, right? If I don't give myself 100%, how am I able to give 100% to someone else? I've always said that, and I've always lived by this as well. Well, I wouldn't say I always did. At least recently, the last few years, I have been doing this, and it has transformed my life much more better than it was when I didn't live by that. And which is why you've seen my transformation in my health, and because that was one of the things that stopped me, was my being lethargic, being tired, being miserable, being sad, upset, right? I wasn't taking responsibility for myself, and therefore I wasn't taking responsibility for my clients as much as I should be, right? Or as much as I wanted, even. So without those dedication to myself, I wasn't able to be dedicated to everyone else. And it all links, right? I learn from others, I learn from different mentors, different coaches, all these interviews with all these amazing CEOs, founders, trainers, coaches, entrepreneurs. They all have this similar theme, is they take care of themselves first. Like if I went into all their routines, which I pretty much do get into them in my podcast, is the common activities. They always take care of themselves first. They was always working out for themselves, or at least responsibility to take care of themselves. And those are like the key elements to anything. If we were to live by this, and this is another one, right? We are the person that we have to live with forever. Ourselves, our mind, our heart, our body. We have to live with ourselves, right? With ourselves, even for the rest of our lives. Our thoughts, our feelings, our dark side, our good, bad, ugly. We have to live with it forever. So why not take care of ourselves first? And have that value or that principle to live by. If you want to level up, you want to take it to the next level, you want to take it to break your next limits, apply those constantly and see what happens. Because I guarantee you, your life will transform should you apply them. It's the same as any knowledge that we learn. If we don't implement them, do we even know them? All right. If you don't apply the knowledge that you learned, how would you know if you actually learned them? How would you know if you're implementing them correctly if you don't apply them? All these strategies, all these methods, all these frameworks from different mentors and principles and strategy and all those kind of things, right? If we don't apply them, how do we know we learned them? Same with sales, same with marketing, same with digital leadership, same with mindset, same with exercise, everything. Got to apply it, got to pull through it, and just know that you have got what it takes to keep pushing yourself forwards, climbing through that next ladder, climbing through that wall, breaking through that wall, smashing the wall, overcoming that challenge, overcoming the tough days. Because you've come so far already. You've done it time and time again. just keep moving forwards. So, on that note, I'm going to keep it short because I keep going through massive long rants, but let's keep it short today. Have a lovely weekend, have a lovely day, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace out.